Hello, I'm going to do a healing/reading for those in recovery or who are recovery curious. A new friend called what I get intuitive metaphors, and I really like that. We'll take a look at what metaphors and healing insights I get for recovery. I'm in a wave inside the curl of a wave. I often start here. It's going left, up, and over, and inside the wave is a big fish sticking its head out of the water inside the wave. Now I see a big heart, and then an ant washing his face with his hands, or maybe it's a cricket. No, I think it's a praying mantis. It's down on its elbows. It's got its elbows on its chin, sitting on its stomach, like stretched out and relaxed. This is such a powerful symbol here right off the bat. The praying mantis to me symbolizes moving beyond the mind because the mind is the weakest part of us. The mind is the weak link. It's often fickle, illogical, unreliable. And if you want to know why we have so many problems in our world, look no further than our reliance on the mind for everything. We need our minds to carry out inspiration, but it can't be the source of our inspiration. Praying mantis looks beyond the mind in this relaxed state to hear from inner guidance or tap into our brilliant bodies and the creative genius of which we are all a part. I see a big ship and then a small boat, a wheel on a boat, the steering wheel, and then a dog coming out from below deck. Now it's a prairie dog coming up from below. Oh, now a rabbit, and now a mouse with great big ears, and then a butterfly kind of hovering over the opening in the center of the boat. Think of a person in recovery in a boat, buoyant, fairly secure, and going along, and the various animals coming out and seeing all these aspects of ourselves that were below deck, getting the light of day. There's a woman in a white dress on the deck of the boat, standing on the deck of the boat, and then a man in white clothes, and they merge into one person, and then this one person now reaches over the side of the boat, and they're lifting someone else into the boat, and they set them down on the deck. I think more aspects of ourselves merging to become one person who is then able to lift up others. I now see a person riding on the back of a bear. Actually, children, several children, are kind of clambering over the back of the bear now. The bear is laying down and the children are gathering around it, playing on and around it. I see a sheep, but I can tell already it's a wolf with a sheep costume loosely over it. And then the sheep costume coming off the wolf, dropping that sheep costume. And then a fist in the air, like a victory fist. So the bear and our old buried patterns, playing with those and instincts being reawakened. The wolf in sheep's clothing, our true selves. No judgment here. We can be ourselves beyond social masks. We recover ourselves, not who anyone else thinks we should be. I see a ship with graffiti on the side, but I can't read it. People clambering up on the boat, and now there's a storm kind of shaking the boat, but nobody's even falling over. They're pushing on something. They're pushing a monster coming up to the ship, like a giant ball, and they're pushing against it together. Now back to navigating and steering the ship. The monster's gone, and there's a woman holding a child in her lap, and people are just standing on the boat. Now I see people from in succession from different cultures. I'd say different times in history. There's Victorian clothing, and then there's, I don't know, Caribbean or Central American. I think before Europeans, a woman with a basket on her head. There's a bright purple light. There's someone riding a dolphin. And then there's a seal on a rock ledge looking out over the sunset. And now the seal with a big grin, grinning from ear to ear. So we have a boat that's been tagged with graffiti, taking some knocks, the boat shaking and the monster. Still to me, standing up for our originality, continuing to stand for our recovery despite the shaking and hard knocks. getting back to staying the course and that child safe in its mother's lap, all the different people from different times and places that we get to stand for. And like me, I had a time of intense emotions that helped me learn to renegotiate past difficulties. We renegotiate our past, our massive missteps and injustices. It's not always pleasant to feel those things, but we owe it to our past hurt selves and people who have been hurt before us and see them with a sober eye. The promise of a new life, healing movement, breathing, sound healing, all here with the dolphin and the seal. Of course, immeasurable power of the imagination, without which we wouldn't ever create anything new. I see a dragon now and a wishing fish, great big splash, even a big crater in the water. Let your imagination make a big splash. Wish big, not just for yourself, but for all of life, past and future. There's a dog in an inner tube, and now the inner tube becomes a fox in a circle. And there's little people in the center of the fox who is licking and sniffing the people. The fox always makes me think of how we can take a break from being seen or heard. We can retreat. Those of us who are introverts need time alone. Our brains don't love lots of dopamine, which is the very thing extroverts thrive on. Being with people a lot and social things that give them a rush of dopamine. I guess we all get that dopamine, but introverts don't like how that feels for long and need to retreat to make acetylcholine in their craniums. That's what makes introverts feel good. Fox can be there and then gone. We can be with people and then retreat and transform. The dog, the people, the fox all represent for me the different needs each of us has in recovery. Some need a circle of people, very social like a dog, and some need, like me, some time alone, time for quiet and focus. No one size fits all recovery, room for everyone. If we pay attention to that diversity of needs, that ability to shift and be flexible. I see a big green octopus, some confirmation of, I have what I call a shack in the back, a little building where I can comfortably focus on my work and be alone. Both necessary things for my brain, making my favorite acetylcholine. The octopus can represent that alone time, that interest, that engagement. I also call my shack in the back Studio A for acetylcholine. Okay, that seems to be it. I guess it's fairly short. It's okay. Maybe this helped your brain make some of your favorite neurotransmitters, our very own healthy drugstore. Thanks for listening.